Making headlines this hour, chief government spokesperson says the United Kingdom's decision to suspend tariffs on Maldivian tuna exports reflects President Dr. Mohamed Muizza's strong economic vision and foreign policy. Maldives government reiterates its unwavering recognition of the People's Republic of China as the sole legal government of the entirety of China under the One China principle. The Maldives government and the European Union signs a financing agreement for a project titled Community-Based Mangrove Protection and Regeneration in the Maldives.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSN News in English with me, Idham Naeem. Chief Government Spokesperson Mohammed Hussain Sharif says the United Kingdom's decision to suspend tariffs on Maldivian tuna exports reflects President Dr. Mohamed Muizza's strong economic vision and foreign policy.
The UK previously imposed a 20% import duty on tuna products, which has now been suspended until the end of 2028. Speaking on TSM News' Raj Jamiyadu program, the spokesperson described the decision as a historic development for the fisheries sector and proof that presidential promises are being delivered. He said the president had strategically worked towards the goal from day one, adding that the president had personally raised the issue during his official visit to the UK, including discussions with the British King. During his audience with the King, President Muizzu had noted the strong demand for Maldivian tuna products in the UK due to its high quality and standards. The spokesperson said that 20% tariff had previously created challenges for Maldivian fishermen in obtaining fair market prices. However, the president's direct intervention helped secure inclusion into the UK's duty exemption list after about 2 years of continuous efforts. This is the first time a head of state has directly lobbied for such a trade agreement, according to the spokesperson. The Maldives exports around 16.7 to 18 million UK pounds worth of tuna annually to the United Kingdom and is the 9th largest tuna supplier to that market. The spokesperson said the government will continue discussions with the UK to make the duty exemption permanent.
The first episode of the PSM News program, Nation Chat, will be broadcast tonight at 9 p.m. This program aims to inform the public about work done by the government. This information will be presented by President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu. The first episode will be focused on key topics such as the political climate of the Maldives, development, healthcare and social issues, and the National Service Program. This episode will be aired by PSM News, Television Maldives TVM, and Divhiraj Adu, the national radio broadcaster. President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu has been providing information to the public via several different programs since he began his term as president. As such, weekly press conferences have been organized to answer questions from reporters and improve public knowledge about ongoing government initiatives. In addition to this, an exclusive program titled Presser with the Spokes has been carried out weekly with the chief government spokesperson Mohammed Hussain Sharif responding to questions from journalists. Dr. Mohammed Mahid Sharif is appointed as the Principal Secretary of Citizens Compliance Bureau by President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu. He was appointed to this ministerial level position on 18th May. Prior to his appointment as Principal Secretary, Dr. Mahid was acting as the Chief Executive Officer of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of the Maldives. He has also served as the Permanent Secretary of several government ministries and Deputy Vice Chancellor of the Islamic University of Maldives, IUM. Dr. Mahid holds a Doctor of Business Administration and a Master's degree in Public Sector Management. The Citizens Compliance Bureau was founded to enhance government awareness about public concerns and ensure that these inquiries are responded to accordingly. It was established under the decree of President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu, with the President announcing this decision in his third presidential address. The Bureau will operate under the President's office and compliance can be submitted 24/7. It will manage all public complaints digitally, increasing the efficiency of tracking and addressing criticism. The Bureau will also contact the necessary government agencies to obtain required information, and a 24-hour call center will be provided as a part of its services. The ruling People's National Congress says President Dr. Mohamed Moise has secured a pivotal economic breakthrough for the Maldives fisheries sector following a decision by the United Kingdom to abolish tariffs on Maldivian tuna products.
The tariff elimination, which took effect on the 20th of May, followed earlier bilateral discussions in London, where the President had met with the British monarch and senior government officials. PNC representatives noted that the removal of the levies had been President Moise's most prominent request during negotiations in the United Kingdom, a major export destination for Maldivian fish. The regulatory change is expected to significantly increase export volumes, expanding production capacity and increasing overall revenue. PNC officials highlighted the breakthrough as a significant leap forward for local fishermen, their families, and commercial enterprises. The ruling party issued the statement to congratulate the government, noting that rescuing the sector from its decline has been a priority for the president since his first day in the office. Stating that the administration is actively achieving success in this endeavor, the PNC expressed gratitude on behalf of fishermen for numerous initiatives launched to bring prosperity to the industry. The statement read, "The president is actively working to secure a fair and appropriate price for catches, while concurrently striving to establish space for Maldivian fisheries product within new international markets." Comprehensive reforms instituted by President Moise were met with profound appreciation by the political faction, which highlighted a new system that guarantees fishermen receive payments within 48 hours of landing their catch for state-owned fish processing companies. The party commended the administration for newly organized provisions for affordable fuel alongside facilitating financial assistance to equip fishing vessels with refrigerated seawater systems. The statement cited the launching of overarching industry development projects and the establishment of a dedicated state enterprise specifically designed to promote Maldivian fisheries on the global stage.
The Maldives government reiterates its unwavering recognition of the People's Republic of China as the sole legal government of the entirety of China under the One China principle. According to a statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the government of the Republic of Maldives has consistently upheld this position since the beginning of bilateral ties with China. As such, according to the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 2758 and international law, Taiwan is a part of the territory of the People's Republic of China. The Maldives remains committed to further deepen its long-standing diplomatic relationship with China. The nation has expressed its gratitude for China's assistance towards socio-economic progress, with hopes to strengthen cooperation for peace, stability, and mutual benefit. The Maldives government and the European Union (EU) signs a financing agreement for a project titled Community-Based Mangrove Protection and Regeneration in the Maldives.
The initiative aims to reinforce climate resilience while assisting with environmental protection nationwide. This agreement was signed by Minister of State for Foreign Affairs Sherina Abdul Samad. It was handed over on behalf of the Ambassador of the EU to the Maldives, Maria Carmen Moreno Raimundo, by the head of cooperation of the delegation of the EU to the Maldives. Senior officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Maldives and EU delegates were also in attendance at the signing ceremony. She expressed her gratitude to the EU for their support in several fields, especially in environmental conservation and climate change projects. The financing agreement details that a €4 million, equivalent to $4.65 million will be granted for mangrove protection. This grant will support community-based projects focused on protecting shorelines, conserving biodiversity, as well as mitigating and adapting to climate change. It also aids the implementation of the country's third nationally determined contribution NCDs to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change UNFCCC under the Paris Agreement. He stressed the significance of amending policies and engaging communities towards conserving coastal ecosystems. This initiative hopes to strengthen environmental management efforts and protect vulnerable ecosystems throughout the country, all while promoting civic participation in such projects. It also reflects the sustained cooperation between the Maldives and the EU in terms of priority given to actionable climate efforts and enhancing eco-friendly development.
The 50th Grand Hajj Symposium, one of the most significant annual gatherings dedicated to pilgrimage services, is convened by Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Hajj and Umrah in Jeddah.
The event drew a global assembly of scholars, thinkers, religious leaders, and researchers to assess the progress made over the past half-century in supporting those undertaking the religious pilgrimage. The Saudi Minister of Hajj and Umrah presided over meetings with the heads of Hajj office and senior officials from various Islamic nations to review current advancements in the field. The Maldives was represented by a delegation featuring Sheikh Imtithah Abbas, the president of the Maldives Hajj Mission in Makkah, and committee member Sheikh Izzuddin Adnan. The symposium shifted from a historical review of achievements to focus on the substantive advancements Saudi Arabia has implemented in pilgrim services. Discussions highlighted the vital role of educational awareness programs and the integration of scientific knowledge, innovative technology, and data utilization to modernize Hajj infrastructure. Saudi Arabia places a paramount emphasis on delivering the highest standard of service to pilgrims, and numerous exemplary services utilizing modern technology have already been established. Scientific sessions held alongside the main proceedings provided a forum to deliberate on the systematic modernization of the Hajj experience, with a particular focus on the application of artificial intelligence. Since its inception in 1977, the Grand Hajj Symposium has evolved into an essential academic platform. It serves to study pilgrimage-related issues and facilitates the exchange of international expertise to address contemporary logistical and religious challenges.
According to data released by the Maldives Monetary Authority (MMA), the Maldives' official foreign exchange reserves declines by 46% following a substantial debt repayment in April.
Official reserves stood at $717.9 million as of April, down from $1.33 billion at the end of March, marking a significant monthly contraction. The dramatic decline was primarily attributed to the government's repayment of $924 million in outstanding debt during the single month, representing one of the largest debt servicing exercises undertaken by a government in recent history. The debt settled in April comprised two major obligations according to official records. These included a $500 million Sukuk bond issued by the then government in 2021 and a $400 million currency swap facility signed during President Dr. Mohammad Muiz's first visit to India in 2024. The combined debt, totaling around $1 billion and coming due this year, was repaid through a combination of the Sovereign Development Fund and official foreign exchange reserves. Despite the sharp reduction in overall reserves, the government has emphasized that sufficient resources remain to meet essential state expenditures. Usable reserves, calculated by subtracting foreign exchange obligations due within the coming year from total official reserves and qualifying investments, stood at $244.2 million as of April. This figure represents a 40% decrease from the $409 million in usable reserves recorded in March, reflecting both the debt outflow and the methodological adjustment in calculating available liquid assets. The government has characterized the debt repayment effort as proceeding smoothly and without operational difficulties. Authorities have further noted that no additional debt was taken to facilitate these repayments and that collateralized state assets are currently being recovered as part of the process. The administration has reaffirmed its commitment to seek concessions on debt payments and related financial matters through its diplomatic engagements with foreign partners.
The Maldives National Defense Force officially joins a military training program hosted by the Indian Armed Forces, a multilateral initiative intended to share technical expertise and tactical experience while fortifying strategic relationships. The two-week military initiative, known as Exercise Pragati 2026, is currently underway at the Umroi military station in Meghalaya, India. Formerly designated as the Partnership of Regional Armies for Growth and Transformation in the Indian Ocean region, the program integrates a diverse array of forces into a unified training environment. Alongside the Maldives and India, the host nation, the broad regional coalition brings together military personnel from 11 other nations, including Bhutan, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Nepal, the Philippines, Seychelles, Sri Lanka, and Vietnam. The primary focus of the rigorous training regimen is the planning and execution of counterterrorism operations specifically designed for mountainous and jungle terrains. To achieve its collaborative objectives, the exercise will encompass a comprehensive series of joint planning scenarios, tactical drills, and coordinated field operations. The deployed Maldivian delegation consists of 2 officers and 30 enlisted soldiers, forming a tactical contingent that represents a highly specialized cross-section of the nation's defense apparatus. The participating personnel were drawn entirely from the elite ranks of the Special Forces, the Special Operations Group, the Special Boat Squadron, and the Marines. SpaceX takes the reps of its IPO filing, laying bare for investors just how much Elon Musk is losing on artificial intelligence while betting the company's future on transforming the rocket maker into an AI powerhouse.
Much of its outlook relies on SpaceX dominating technologies and markets that do not yet exist, from Mars missions to AI data centers in space. For many, Musk's record turning Tesla into the most valuable auto company in the world and developing the world's first fully reusable rocket and largest satellite network is enough to justify investment. The filing cements Musk's tight control on SpaceX while giving shareholders little say over his decision. It shows just how central AI has become following the February purchase of xAI, which drove most of the company's spending and a majority of its losses in the first quarter. The listing could become the first US market debut over $1 trillion and would immediately make SpaceX one of the world's most valuable publicly traded companies.
Chinese President Xi Jinping welcomed Russian President Vladimir Putin with an honor guard and a gun salute at the Great Hall of the People as children waved Chinese and Russian flags.
At a joint summit, both leaders condemned US President Donald Trump's Golden Dome missile defense shield plans and Washington's irresponsible nuclear policy a week after Xi hosted Trump in Beijing. A statement from Xi and Putin said Trump's plan for a ground and space-based missile interceptor system posed a threat to global strategic stability. Xi and Putin, who have met more than 40 times, both stressed the closeness of the Russia-China ties that they sealed in 2022 with the signing of a strategic partnership treaty less than 3 weeks before Moscow's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. For Xi, it kept a remarkable week of diplomacy in which he has set out to showcase China as a pillar of stability in a world rocked by trade wars and military conflicts in Iran and Ukraine. But there was no apparent breakthrough on a massive new natural gas pipeline, the Power of Siberia 2, that the two sides have been discussing for years. Putin also invited Xi to visit Russia next year.
Yuri Tillmans and Emiliano Buendia scores stunning goals as Aston Villa outclassed SC Freiburg 3-0 in the Europa League final to end a 30-year wait for silverware and earn their coach Unai Emery a record-extending fifth win in the competition.
Morgan Rogers added a third as Villa secured a first major trophy since they lifted the English League Cup in 1996 and their first victory in continental competition since they were European Cup champions in 1982 after beating Bayern Munich in the final. Back-to-back wins in the Europa League for Premier League clubs after Tottenham Hotspur were victors last season, kept alive a rare continental hat-trick with Arsenal in the final of the Champions League and Crystal Palace to play in the Conference League decider.
Of course, my dream when I arrived here was play Europe, play for trophies, to dream trophies. This is the first one we are achieving. We played before two semi-finals in Conference League and in FA Cup. We were close. And the experiences we are having, the experiences like today as well, is very important how we can as well get better.
Villa took the lead on 41 minutes with a superb strike from Tielemans after Rogers floated across from a short corner, was latched onto by the unmarked Belgian and his low volley erred into the net. It was 2-0 seconds before halftime through another stunning goal, this time from Buendia. Freiburg allowed Villa too much space on the edge of their box and the Argentine playmaker curled a left-footed shot into the far corner, leaving goalkeeper Noah Atuboli with no chance. Rogers added the third on the 58th minute when Buendia turned provider as his low cross into the 6-yard box from the left was stabbed home at the near post. Villa manager Emery kept up his remarkable record in the competition with a fifth victory, 3 with Sevilla, 1 with Villarreal, and now 1 with English Villa. Emery moved levels with record holders Carlo Ancelotti, Jose Mourinho, and Giovanni Trapattoni on 5 European trophies. Freiburg was hoping to win their first major silverware in their 122-year-old history, but rarely threatened the Villa goal.
Celebrations for the centenary of David Attenborough, the British natural historian and broadcaster whose nature films have been watched by hundreds of millions of people across the world, begins with the release of a new documentary, Making Life on Earth, Attenborough's A Great Adventure.
We had been filming mountain gorillas in Rwanda, Africa. The first sign of trouble is a soldier.
The program, which will be broadcasted in the United Kingdom, dwells into the story behind the groundbreaking 1979 series, which Attenborough credits as being a turning point in his life.
I have been lucky enough to have had a long career making natural history programs.
Reading from a diary he kept during filming in the late 70s, Attenborough reflects on the adventures he and his crew undertook to explore the natural world, ranging from an epic search for an Indian Ocean fish, often called a living fossil, to detention by the Rwandan army and being threatened in Saddam Hussein's Iraq. His team also talked about the challenge of setting up shoots when letters took weeks to arrive and worrying about getting precious film rolls back to Britain. At one point, Attenborough revisits the time he lay with 3 mountain gorillas in Rwanda, an experience he calls one of the greatest privileges of his life.
I mean, Life on Earth, when it came out, was a complete game changer. There have been a couple of other series. There was one called Civilization, which was about the arts. There was one about The Ascent of Man, which is about human history.
It seems really very unfair that man should have chosen the gorilla.
Speaking about the gorilla sequence, executive producer of Making Life on Earth, Attenborough's Greatest Adventure, Mike Davis, told Reuters that it had almost had an inverse effect on something like Jaws, where suddenly everyone was terrified of sharks. He said that Attenborough's role in this sequence changed viewers' perception of the species, being up close with them, not being scared of them, interacting with them, and them being gentle animals. The program also alleges that gorilla should help real-world change. After returning to the United Kingdom, Attenborough worked with conservationists to protect species, and mountain gorilla numbers have risen significantly since. Mike Punton, who has worked with Attenborough on numerous documentaries over the years, calls Life on Earth game-changing, adding that it set the template for natural history shows which have followed.
One of the most remarkable television series ever produced.
People just had not seen anything like this.
Extraordinary, really. I mean, it was one of the most privileged moments of our life.
That concludes news for now. Thank you for watching PSM News. Have a good day.